subcompact SUVs. These seem to be the flavor of the season. That's because there are a whole variety of options to choose from. You got the sibling rivalry from the Nissan Magnite, the Renault Kiger, the Korean cousins, the Kia Sonet, the Hyundai Venue, the Indian brothers, the Tata Nexon, the Mahindra XUV 300, and the Japanese twins, the Toyota Land Cruiser and the Maruti Vitara Brezza, along with the car, which is the OG of the segment, the Ford EcoSport. Hello and welcome back to the Car Computing channel. I am your host Bhargava, and today we are going to do a comparison on all these subcompact SUVs. God. Now let us move on to the first car on this list, the Renault Kiger. Now let us start with the newest kid on the block. It is the Renault Kiger, which was launched somewhere in March. It looks sleek from the front, but I think so it looks odd from the back. The design is well sorted out, the dimensions are well sorted out, the wheels are nice, they are chrome finished and everything. You got the nice chrome badge on the front side of the vehicle. It looks excellent and it makes a value for money proposition in terms of the looks. Now let us talk about the interiors of the Renault Kiger and see what it is all about. Now Renault have done a good job with the interiors of the Kiger. They look very nice. It is also better than the Magnite. And the area where it shines is in terms of the quality that it offers. It's much more better. It's got a digital infotainment system, and you also get modes, driving modes, which the Magnite does not get. The touchscreen also is intuitive like the Magnite, so there's no problem with that. The interiors also are very well finished. They're very well sorted out. I like the textures. I like the themes that have been put on the Kiger as well. Now let us talk about the engine specifications of the Renault Kiger. Now powering the Kiger are two petrol engines, 1 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine and the other is a 1 liter 3-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine, both of the engines which we have seen on the Magnite as well. Now they make the same amount of power and torque like the Magnite as well. So for the turbo petrol engine, you get about 100 horsepower and 160 Newton meters of torque for the manual and 152 Newton meters for the automatic CVT. Now for the naturally aspirated 1 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, you get 72 horsepower and 96 Newton meters of torque. Both these engines are mated to a 5-speed manual transmission. The turbocharged engine also gets a CVT which the Magnite gets, whereas the 1 liter naturally aspirated engine gets an AMP which is not offered on the Magnite. Now let us go on to the next car on the list, the Nissan Magnite. The Nissan Magnite has been the first in the segment to get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But we'll talk about that later. What is the design like? It's a typical Japanese styling as you can see above. The Magnite also gets these nice spokey alloy wheels. The chrome, there's not much of chrome over there. The headlamps look neatly finished. They aren't really the best, but they are good looking. And what I like is the blue shade, which really attracts most customers like me. So definitely the Magnite is a very good all-round proposition in terms of the styling part. Now let us go and check the interiors of the Nissan Magnite. Now the Magnite's interiors are a typical Nissan interiors. You can observe that the push button start is located near the gear lever, almost near the gear lever. The touch screen is an 8-inch unit which gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I had already told you. It was one of those first cars to start that wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto trend, which now the Kiger also gets. You get those nice digital dials, which I really like on the Magnite. They are a very good sense of technology and also provide you that sophistication that one requires. And thoroughly, I am impressed with the Nissan Magnite's interiors. Now, let us check out the engine specifications of the Nissan Magnite. Now, like the Kiger, the Magnite is powered with the same set of engines: a 1 liter 3-cylinder turbo petrol, which makes 100 horsepower, and 152 Nm of torque for the CVT automatic, and 160 Nm of torque for the manual variant. You get a 1 liter naturally aspirated 3-cylinder petrol, which makes 72 horsepower and 96 Newton meters of torque. Now, both these engine options are mated to a 5-speed manual, but the AMT is not offered on the Magnite in the 1 liter variant, but it is offered with a CVT on the turbo variant, so no automatics on the naturally aspirated variant. Now, let us go on to the next car on the list, the Kia Sonet. Now, the Kia Sonet is a good looking car. It's the best looking car in the segment. You can see that Kia styling elements are the best in the segment. We have seen that with the Seltos as well. So it looks sleek, it looks modern, it is spot on in terms of the looks. Now let us explore the interiors of the Kia Sonet. Now, when you step into the interiors of the Kia Sonet, there is a whole new level of sophistication offered. You get it in two themes: Tech Line and GT Line, like on the Kia Seltos. So, the interiors are properly sorted out. This is the GT Line variant with the dual clutch transmission, as we've already seen CVTs on the previous two cars. Now the Koreans are with the dual clutches, but you can also get it with the IMT on the GT line trim, and also like the Seltos, you can get it with the diesel automatic with the torque converter. But now let us talk about the DCT and the interiors. Now the interiors coming to the touchscreen, it's a 10.25-inch touchscreen offered on the Sonet. As you can see on the steering, it's filled with red stitching, and on the seats as well. So it's quite sporty. It's also got a digital dial, unlike the Venue, which makes it even more premium, and it looks like a mini Seltos. The AC vents are properly sorted out. You also get wireless charging. You get ventilated seats, and the Sonnet is the first car in the segment to get a proper diesel automatic. Like, because the XUV 300 and the Nexon are offering AMTs with the diesel, Sonnet is offering a torque converter, which enhances the driving fun. So overall, Kia have done a fantastic job, except for the fact that they could have added the manual transmission with the turbo petrol for enthusiasts, which is offered on the Hyundai Venue. Now let us talk about the engine specifications of the Kia Sonet. Now on the Sonet you get the same set of engine options which are offered on the Venue, which is a 1 liter 3-cylinder petrol engine, a 1.2 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine. Then you get a 1.5 liter VGT or a variable geometry turbocharged diesel engine. The gearbox options are on the 1 liter variant, you get a 6-speed intelligent manual transmission, or a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission on offer. The 1.5 liter diesel engine gets a 6-speed manual like the Venue, but the Sonnet also gets a proper 6-speed torque converter automatic, as we have discussed before, which is not offered on the Venue. The 1.2 liter naturally aspirated engine though comes with a 5-speed manual transmission only, and that's offered on the base variant. So you have a whole set of engine options to choose from the Sonnet as well. Now let us move on to the next car in the segment, the Hyundai Venue. The Venue also looks nice, but it isn't as striking, say, as the Sonnet. Though it looks sporty from the outside, I like those red accents, but those are only available on the sport trim with the IMT transmission. Though today we are going to focus more on the dual clutch transmission. The wheels are okay, I wouldn't say they are great. Everything is proportionally sorted out. It's on an average scale, but it could have been done better with a facelift. Now let us talk about the interiors of the Hyundai Venue. Now the interior of the Hyundai Venue is quite nice. It isn't as nice as the Sonnet. It gets an 8-inch touchscreen, whereas the Sonnet gets a 10.25-inch touchscreen. Now it doesn't have that sporty appeal of the interior that the Sonnet gives, either on the DCT or with the diesel option. The IMT definitely gets a sport tone, so it looks sporty. The steering wheel is borrowed from many other Hyundai cars like the Creta, the i20 as well. So it's quite fun to drive than the Sonnet, but still it lacks that premium appeal which the other Korean cousin provides, and that's why Hyundai need to improve on, because they have done a good job with the Creta in terms of the interiors. Now let us talk about the engine specifications of the Hyundai Venue. Now, the Hyundai Venue comes with three engine options like the Kia Sonet: a 1 liter 3 cylinder turbocharged petrol, a 1.2 liter 4 cylinder naturally aspirated petrol, and a 1.5 liter variable geometry turbocharged 4 cylinder diesel engine. Now, the 1 liter 3 cylinder petrol engine gets three transmission options: a 7-speed DCT, a 6-speed IMT, or a 6-speed manual, which the Sonet does not offer. However, the area where the Venue misses out is a diesel automatic, which the Sonet offers, and it also gets the diesel manual, which the Sonet offers. The 1.2 liter naturally aspirated engine also offers the 5-speed manual transmission like the Sonet, and it is only available in the base trims. Now let us talk about the next car on the list, the Mahindra XUV 300. Like many other cars in the segment, the Mahindra XUV 300 is also one of the best looking cars in the segment. To be precise, the front headlamps are very nice. And it also reminds me of the Sanyong cars which are sold in the Korean states. It is based on a Korean vehicle from the Sanyong stable. So it looks quite nice. Now let us talk about the interiors of the XUV 300. Now Mahindra have recently launched the petrol AMT version of the XUV 300 back in February this year. So there haven't been any drastic changes to the vehicle, even in the interior. So you get segment first features like dual zone climate control and different steering modes. But the saddening part though is the fact that it misses out on rear AC vents, and also the XUV 300's feature list is high, But the AMT gearbox is being a six-speed unit. AMTs are quite jerky, but they return good fuel efficiency to you. Overall, the interiors of the XUV 300 aren't disappointing, but keep in mind that the XUV 300 is also a very spacious car. Now, let us talk about the engine specifications of the XUV 300. Now the Mahindra XUV 300 comes with two engine options, a 1.5 litre turbocharged diesel engine and a 1.2 litre turbocharged petrol engine. Now the 1.5 litre diesel engine makes 115 horsepower and 300 newton meters of torque, which are best in class numbers, and the petrol makes 110 horsepower and 200 newton meters of torque, which is the best torque in the segment. The XUV 300 comes with choices of a 6-speed manual or 6-speed AMT with both the 1.5 diesel and the 1.2 litre petrol engine. Now let us move on to the next car on this list, the Tata Nexon. So the Tata Nexon looks very much familiar. It has been the best looking car in the segment. Now also it is the one of the best looking cars in the segment. With the Sonnet, I think so I would give the Sonnet first and the Nexon second in terms of the looks. Design is no doubt Tata have really worked on it, and I think so it's a very good product overall, and it sells quite well. So that's why we have picked it in our list. Now let us talk about the interiors of the Tata Nexon. Now in the facelifted Tata Nexon, you get a new steering. Now the instrument cluster is digital. Nothing much has changed except the steering and the digital infotainment system or the instrument cluster. The infotainment system remains a 7-inch touchscreen. You get the AMT gearbox. You can see everything has remained the same. You get the modes as well. So quite an overall a good interior for the Tata Nexon. Now let us talk about the engine specifications offered on the Tata Nexon. Now Tata Motors is offering two engines, a 1.5 diesel and a 1.2 turbo petrol on the Nexon. Both of them come with a 6-speed manual or the 6-speed AMT like the Mahindra XUV 300. So there isn't much change in terms of the engines. So both of them make about the diesel makes 110 horsepower and 260 Nm of torque, whereas the petrol makes 120 horsepower and 170 Newton meters of torque. Now let us go on to the next cars on the list, the Maruti Vitara Brezza or the Toyota Urban Cruiser. As you can see, the Maruti Vitara Brezza has just received a facelift from before, but it's starting to look updated with competition rising and rising up. So Maruti should bring the new generation of the Vitara Brezza by next year to India so that it can be a very tough fight with the competitors. Now let us talk about the interiors of the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza or the Toyota Urban Cruiser. The urban cruisers or the Brezza's interiors are the same. You get the 7-inch touchscreen. The touch response is okay, but it isn't as responsive as say the Sonnet or the Venue. Now the dials, the instrument cluster looks dated because most of the cars are now getting digital. Um, as an overall package, I feel that the Brezza needs to get its new generation to India so that it can live up to its competition. Now let us talk about the engine specifications of the Vitara Brezza or the Toyota Urban Cruiser. Now before we go ahead with the final car on the list, the Ford EcoSport, I want to tell you something. The difference between the Urban Cruiser and the Vitara Brezza is the fact that the Urban Cruiser offers a 5-year 1 lakh kilometer warranty from Toyota, And Maruti Suzuki only offers a 2-year 40,000 kilometer warranty, and also there is a difference between the grill. Other than that, there is no difference. So now let us go on to the final car on the list, the Ford EcoSport, the original gangster in the segment. The Ford EcoSport has been updated back in 2017. We had spotted some changes to the styling and it still looks the same. Whereas Ford has also offered a variant in which the spare wheel behind the boot is removed, and that is called the SE. That also gets a petrol automatic, but now we are comparing both of them with the petrol automatic. So let's step on with the interior. So the Ford EcoSport's interiors have remained the same. There has been nothing that has changed. The 9-inch touchscreen is a very responsive unit. As you know, the gearbox is a 6-speed torque converter automatic unit, which is better than the 4-speed torque converters offered on the Brezza and the Urban Cruiser. It's also got the largest capacity engine like the Brezza and the Urban Cruiser, which get a 1.5 liter engine, which make 105 horsepower and 138 Nm of torque on the Brezza and the Urban Cruiser. But on the EcoSport, it makes 123 horsepower and 150 Nm of torque, which is a 3-cylinder Dragon Series TIBCT engine, whereas on the Brezza and the Urban Cruiser, it's a 4-cylinder unit. Now, the EcoSport does well in terms of the interiors, but if Ford updates the EcoSport and brings the new generation to India, I think so. It's going to be a big deal in this segment. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure that you like, share it with your friends and family. Comment down below if you didn't like this video. Let us know your improvements about these videos. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you will be notified whenever we upload a new video. Stay safe, try safe. Thanks for watching.